In this video, I will be talking about task and workflow. Let's start at the beginning here. Let's look at tasks. Now, these are going to be all the different types of tasks that I have created. All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about tasks and workflow setup. So let's start at the beginning. Let's look at escalation profile. I'm going to select all my properties so I can show you the examples that we have set up here. A conference event planner. Now, a conference event planner escalation profile basically means when something is escalated to a conference event planner, these escalation rules apply. So, if something is escalated to Kathy, that will be in 0 minutes, okay? Now, if Kathy does not pick that up in 0 minutes, what we can do, 30 minutes after that, Rich, it will be escalated to Rich. And if Rich doesn't pick it up 1 day after that, it will be escalated to David. So you can set up multiple escalation rules within an escalation profile. So when you have an event planner's escalation profile and the associated event planner's escalation profile to a conference, basically what that will do is utilize escalation rules to these users in this amount of time, and you can obviously select your time units here. So if I wanted to add another user, if David did not pick something up within a day and I wanted to send something to Johan on the second day, I could do so here, as you can see, and I can set a priority. So maybe Kathy may be priority number 1, Rich may be priority number 2, David may be 3, and 4. So you can see that there. Let's look at task routing. Before we look at task routing, let's look at task types. So task types are the different types of tasks that you'll have in your different areas of Selenium. So we have a guest services task type, we have a housekeeping task type, we have internal. So internal may be just your internal staff, maybe your internal management. Those types of tasks can be associated here. You may have a maintenance task. You will have sales and catering events, sales and catering food and beverage, sales and catering possibly sales, and this is just for testing purposes. It's called test. So let's look at sales and catering events. So this will basically show tasks on a block. It'll show this task type on a conference event, show this task type on conference groups, master contact. It will not show this task type on any orders. It will not show this task type on a sales order. And if I create a task, it will not show that there. All right. That can get a little confusing. Just think of it as a manual task that you are creating in Selenium, anywhere in Selenium really. That will not show up just anywhere. This sales and catering event task type will only show up where you associate it. Now let's look at task templates. Task template. So the first one is arrange dinner tasting. Now, arrange dinner tasting is a template task. So what we can do is associate arranged dinner tasting to an event. For example, a sales and catering food and beverage. That's the type of task it is. We can give the task template a description. We can give it a priority, a duration on how long this task will sit for, and also the different task items that are associated with this task. All right. So here we have in the item description, arrange dinner tasting. The second thing would be update conference booking with details. The third task item may be follow up with the client. All right. Maybe there's a fourth task. Today. There we go. Charge the client. Actually, you don't charge client for dinner tasting. Confirm. Date for dinner tasting. Now, this task template basically is telling us that when we utilized a arranged dinner tasting task template, these task items are triggered. So, at arranged dinner tasting template, we'll have arranged dinner tasting, update conference booking with details, follow up with client, and confirm date with dinner tasting for dinner tasting. Now let's look at task routing. And basically what this does is exactly what it says. This will route your different tasks to the locations where you need them to go. So let's look at event tasks. Now these are going to be specific to property, so you can create them. You can also duplicate them and rename them. So we have them. We have these examples called event tasks, food and beverage tasks, guest services, and sales tickets. Let's look at event tasks. Event tasks is the name. The description is pre-event task list associated with the property CEN 000. The task type is a sales and catering event task type. The source type is a conference booking. You can also select task there. It can be the source type. You can select default owners every time an event task is routed. You can have a default owner. So if you have one person at property level that deals with the event task, you can do so here, or you can let the source determine the task owner at the time of creating the task. Same thing for assign to. You can have a default user this is assigned to, or you can determine the assignment at the time of creating the task. And escalation profiles, we've talked about this in the earlier in this video. You utilize this for this task routing here. So you can, what we have is conference event planners. Escalation profile is also attached to this event task. You don't have to have a escalation profile associated with a task routing. However, it will make business easier. Once the tasks start triggering, it will start flowing to the correct people they need to go to. And it also puts a checks and balances in. The last thing we need to talk about is task dispatch template here. Let's look at task dispatch templates. I'm going to show you a sales and catering food and beverage task dispatch template as we have multiple things going on. So let's have a look. So these are the different dispatch rules we have associated with a task, a sales and catering food and beverage task dispatch. So arrange site meeting. We created this template here. Arrange dinner tasting. Follow up menu offer, create billing group. Now, this is calculated by date. All right. So the target date rule is the start date of the event, and the calculation is before the target date. Interval would be 30 days. So what this is telling us is we need to arrange a site meeting once a conference event is booked or a sales and catering food and beverage event is booked. And this will start triggering before the start, 30 days before the start date of the event. We don't have any default owners or default assignees, as we would like this to stay use default routing, so you can associate this to different people at different times, and also multiple users can be the owner of this task. These are all defaulted from this here. You can also set this up to recurring. I would not know why you would do that, but you could set that up here where this recurs, continuously recurs until somebody completes it, possibly, or if you have multiple dinners, for example, or multiple menus, you could set up a recurring follow-up with menu, follow-up with menu, follow-up with menu. You could set that there. And if you do set up recurring pattern, which you would have to do here, that will show you the exact fields there. So you could set up a recurring before the target date. Interval could be 5 days. Recurring pattern could be daily. All right. So we will arrange a site meeting. It will trigger 30 days before the event, and it will continuously trigger every 5 days with a day in between. Well, actually, every 5 days. And the recurring pattern is daily, so this will continuously recur until somebody completes this task.